Here's the best way to make grits. This is how your grits should always look. Very, very smooth. Very creamy. And for me, nice and cheesy. But this is how I do my grits. I'm going to tell you the recipe, guys. Hi, everybody. Welcome and welcome back. Today we're going to make some grits. The first thing that we do, we get about an 8-cup saucepan. And then you're going to pour you some water in there. Today I'm making a smaller amount of grits. So I'm going to put 2 cups of water in there. Now, we're talking about things that will change the way that you approach cooking and your skill set. We want it to definitely change because on my channel, I want you guys to think about what's logical. And instead of always thinking about, oh, I see this ingredient, but I don't have the exact things. You could be substituting things and making provisions the same way that our ancestors and our people did. Okay, so now that the 2 cups of water have heated up, and we could see that, I can see that there's the little bubbles. We're not wanting it to roar though. We just want it to heat up. So have it on high, set to about medium high, or high. If you're in a huge hurry, yeah, you can turn it to high. And as soon as you can see some steam coming off of it, then you want to add some milk. You want to start out with 1/2 cup. So there was a cup in there, and I freely poured that. You guys always say I don't measure, but anyway, when you're at a point where you can do it by looking at it, it just saves time. So that's why I did it that way. Now, a lot of people don't put milk in theirs. Milk makes it the creamiest, and it doesn't affect you like as far as in a make you feel like you have to use the bathroom or something like that. And if you are that sensitive or that concerned, use lactate milk, which works perfect. And it tastes good anyway. I like lactate milk. Now at this time, I can see that it is forming some bubbles. So I want to put my butter in. The reason why I put the butter in at this point is because we did use milk. Milk can definitely stick to the bottom of the pan. So you want to get your butter in there and give it a little stir and go ahead and turn your heat down to about 3 to 4. And then we'll add a teaspoon. We'll put into it about a teaspoon of salt. No, sugar doesn't go in grits. It don't. Not if you make your grits. If you make your grits a certain way, like cheese grits, but the way that I'm making them, when it comes to this grits recipe, I don't recommend any substitution. I don't recommend trying to do anything a little bit different and all that stuff. I say stick with the recipe, I say. So now we're going to go in and pour in our grits. We're pouring in 1 cup of grits to so far 3 cups of liquid. These are the quick grits, but I never like to cook mine real quick and real fast. See? And grits also stick too, so that was the reason that we put in the butter before we started just going in and throwing the grits in there, because they'll stick to your pan real quick. So you want to let your grits simmer for a little bit. And then once they begin to thicken, probably in 10 minutes or so, we'll go ahead and add the next secret ingredients. Make sure that you come back and you give a stir periodically, but don't stir it too frequently because it'll just cause the cooking time it'll slow it down tremendously. And right now we're at about medium heat, so about 3.5. 3.5 is what we're at. And so we'll give it a stir. Of course, you want to make sure you don't have any sticking. If you have light sticking, just deglaze the bottom of your pan by just gently, because it's not scorched. And as you guys can see, it taking on the nice bubbles, well, it's getting thicker. Okay, guys, so now we'll come back over here and we'll give it a stir again. You don't want your grits to be lumpy. That is the purpose of stirring it about every 3 minutes or so. There is one more ingredient that you can add to your grits if you'd like, and it is 1 or 2, depending how many grits you're making, but egg yolk. You can add 1 or 2 egg yolks, or you can substitute your salt with bouillon cube. The only time I would substitute my salt with bouillon is if I didn't have any cheese, but I wanted it flavorful, like we do. We want things flavorful. And the only time I would probably do an egg yolk is if I needed the color to it, because I don't like my grits real white like this. I like them they'll be cheesy, and they'll taste cheesy. They just taste good to a point where you're like, why did I ever think I needed sugar like I was 5 years old? You know what I mean? It'll put you there. Okay, so now we're back to, and yeah, all in all, it took about 10 minutes. You are stirring periodically. Now here, you guys heard of cheese grits? But in my case, we only was raised using pasteurized cheese because it makes the grits have that cheesy flavor, but they will still be extremely smooth. I was going to do 4 pieces, but I think we're just going to do that. We're just going to end up doing 3. At least for now. Let me see the flavor of it. And this is where you want your grits to be right now. They're not lumpy, of course. We wouldn't be making no video about no daggone lumpy grits. Lumpy like somebody's booty. But anyway, and then the cheese just makes them creamy. Extra creamy. The cheese and the milk is what makes your grits. You'll have the best grits if you follow this recipe. Because I've had some grits and been thoroughly disappointed. Like through life, you know what I mean? Through life, like, why, what? Because they didn't have no butter. They didn't have no cheese. They didn't even try it. They didn't even go in with no regular cheese. And one time I had somebody put pepper all in them. They don't put no salt. They just put pepper. No butter. None. But anyway, I'm just melting down that last bit of that last little piece of cheese. And that is really, the thickness is the perfect thickness. That's how grits are supposed to be made. And these taste even better than they look, I'm sure. That is where you want them. That is your thickness of your grits. You don't want them too stiff. And you don't want them runny. But that's it. That's all. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget, y'all know I need that favor. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more and more and more. It really keeps me going to have the support too. So, yeah. All right. God bless.